What if I told you that the motor oil you're using right now, the one you thought was recommended or good enough, could be slowly destroying your engine every single time you turn the key? It sounds alarming, but the reality is backed by research. In a massive study of over 10,000 vehicles, scientists discovered that nearly 60% of drivers were using oil that didn't match their engine's temperature range, viscosity requirements, or additive specifications. The result? Higher friction, thinner oil films, and faster wear on critical components like timing chains, lifters, and bearings. One mechanic in Texas put it bluntly: the wrong oil won't kill your engine overnight, but it will murder it quietly, one cold start at a time. Every time your engine fires up with the wrong oil, tiny amounts of damage accumulate, often unnoticed until it's too late. Today, you're going to learn the 8 warning signs that your car is running on the wrong oil and how to fix them before they cause catastrophic engine damage. Stick around until the end, because the final sign is a silent killer, responsible for thousands of dollars in repair costs every year, and it's one that even professional shops frequently overlook. The first and most obvious sign is ticking or knocking immediately after startup. If you start your engine cold and hear a brief ticking or knocking sound, it means your oil isn't reaching the top of the engine quickly enough. This is most common when the oil is too thick for the climate. For example, a heavy 10W40 oil moves much slower in cold temperatures, leaving the upper valve train temporarily unlubricated. Those few seconds may seem insignificant, but they're enough to cause micro-wear on cam lobes and hydraulic lifters. Research from Pennzoil's cold start friction tests shows that over 75% of engine wear actually happens in the first 5 minutes after starting, which makes the type of oil you use during cold starts incredibly important. The fix is straightforward. If you live in colder regions, switch to thinner oils like 0W20 or 5W30 and always choose a full synthetic. Full synthetics flow faster at low temperatures, instantly reducing startup noise while significantly extending engine life. Making this simple adjustment can prevent costly repairs down the line and keep your engine running smoothly from the moment it fires up. The second warning sign is a louder or rougher running engine. Every engine has its own unique sound, and any sudden change is a red flag. If your engine begins to sound harsher, deeper, or more resonant than usual, it may be operating on oil that's too thin. Thin oil, such as a 0W16 or a worn-out 0W20, cannot cushion metal components under pressure, which allows metal-on-metal contact to increase mechanical resonance. In other words, the familiar tapping or clattering you hear is the sound of your engine components struggling to protect themselves. A 2019 SAE study found that vehicles running oil one viscosity grade below the manufacturer's recommendation experienced a 32% increase in engine noise and an 18% increase in bearing wear. The solution is to adjust to the proper oil grade. If you've recently switched brands or grades and notice persistent noise, simply move one viscosity step thicker, for instance from 0W20 to 5W30, and always choose oils with API, ILCAC, or GF6 certification, as these ensure the proper balance of anti-wear additives and detergents. Paying attention to your engine's sound is one of the simplest and most effective ways to catch oil-related issues before they become serious. A third sign that your oil might be wrong is a noticeable drop in fuel economy. It may seem counterintuitive, but using oil that is too thick for your engine can make it work harder, reducing efficiency. Thicker oil increases internal resistance, forcing pistons and the crankshaft to overcome more friction with each revolution. This results in lower MPG, which could cost hundreds of dollars per year without any obvious sign of a problem. Studies from the Automotive Research Institute found that switching from 0W20 to 10W40 in the same engine reduced highway mileage by 5.6% and city mileage by nearly 9%. The fix is to match oil viscosity to your typical driving conditions. For temperatures below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, use 0W20 or 0W30.
Between 32 degrees Fahrenheit and 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 5W30 is ideal, and above 90 degrees, 10W30 or 10W40 works best. Avoid universal or all-sizes-fits-all oils, especially in modern engines or turbocharged vehicles, which are designed for narrow viscosity ranges. If your MPG suddenly drops without an obvious reason, check your oil first before blaming your tires or driving habits. The fourth warning sign is a burning smell or blue smoke from your exhaust. If you notice a faint bluish haze trailing your car, that's oil burning in the combustion chamber, not just normal exhaust. This often occurs when the oil is too thin, shears under heat, and slips past piston rings or valve seals. Even premium synthetic oils can degrade quickly if they're not the correct grade for your engine's compression and temperature conditions. According to research from Valvoline's R&D lab, thin oils in older or high-mileage engines can vaporize 2 to 3 times faster than the recommended viscosity, leading to oil loss, carbon buildup, and even long-term engine damage. The fix is to step up one viscosity grade for older engines, for example moving from 0W20 to 5W30, and always choose low volatility or high-mileage synthetic oils. Look for oils with a NOAC volatility rating below 13%, which ensures less evaporation under heat. Ignoring this warning not only increases engine wear, but also accelerates damage to your catalytic converter, leading to costly repairs. By paying attention to these first 4 warning signs, cold start noise, rough or loud operation, reduced fuel economy, and blue smoke, you can identify whether your engine is running on the wrong oil before serious damage occurs. These are subtle, early indicators that give you the chance to act quickly, saving thousands in repairs, prolonging engine life, and keeping your car running smoothly from the moment it fires up.
The fifth warning sign that your car may be suffering from the wrong oil is the flickering oil pressure light, especially at idle. Many drivers panic when they see that red light flash while stopped at a traffic signal, assuming the oil level is low. But that's not always the case. Often, a blinking oil pressure light indicates that the oil is too thin for your engine's tolerances. As engines warm up, oil naturally thins, and if it starts too thin, it may fail to maintain proper pressure in the crankshaft and bearing surfaces. When oil pressure drops below roughly 10 psi at idle, bearings experience micro-welding damage, where metal molecules literally fuse and tear apart, causing long-term harm that is difficult to repair. The solution is to check oil pressure with a gauge or scan tool rather than relying solely on the dashboard light. If readings consistently dip below 15 psi when the engine is hot, it's time to move up one viscosity grade, for example from 0W20 to 5W30. Always verify that your oil filter is functioning correctly, as clogged or cheap filters can mimic low pressure symptoms. That flickering light is essentially your engine's last cry for help. Ignoring it could turn a simple oil correction into a full-blown engine failure. A sixth sign that the wrong oil is in use is sluggish acceleration or poor throttle response. You press the gas pedal expecting a smooth surge, but instead the engine hesitates or feels sluggish. While many drivers immediately suspect spark plugs, fuel injectors, or air filters, often the real culprit is oil that is either too thick or contaminated. Oil doesn't just lubricate, it also regulates hydraulic systems within your engine, including critical components like variable valve timing or VVT solenoids. When the oil is excessively viscous or contains sludge, these solenoids respond more slowly, causing valves to open late and cam timing to lag. The result is reduced engine power, poor efficiency, and noticeable hesitation under acceleration. Honda's 2022 VTC study confirmed that a mere 10% increase in oil viscosity due to contamination can delay cam response by 1/4 of a second, enough to make acceleration feel sluggish and unresponsive. The fix is preventative maintenance. Replace your oil and filter at the manufacturer's recommended intervals or even sooner if you drive frequently in stop-and-go traffic or idle extensively. Use high-detergency synthetic oils designed for VVT and turbocharged engines, as these maintain proper hydraulic performance even under stress.
Shortening your oil change interval between 3,000 and 5,000 miles in high-demand driving conditions can prevent sluggish performance before it starts. If your car feels lethargic immediately after an oil change, it may be a warning that the wrong grade or a low-quality brand is restricting engine efficiency from the inside out. The seventh warning sign is dirty or sludgy oil despite a recent change. This is a red flag that often catches drivers off guard and is sometimes exploited by less scrupulous mechanics. You just changed your oil a few hundred miles ago, yet the dipstick shows dark, gritty, or burnt-smelling oil. That's not normal. It indicates that the new oil is failing to properly suspend contaminants or is mixing poorly with leftover residue from previous oil. Oils with different base formulations, such as mixing conventional with synthetic, can neutralize each other's detergents and dispersants. Instead of cleaning, they gum up, forming sludge and accelerating oxidation. A 2021 Society of Automotive Engineers report found that incompatible oil mixtures increased sludge formation by 46% and doubled oxidation rates in engines operating above 180 degrees Fahrenheit. The solution is simple. Stick to one brand and formulation, perform a complete oil drain including filter, and, if possible, run a short flush cycle with fresh oil before switching types. Avoid quick lube shops that top off engines with mystery blends from bulk tanks. If your oil turns black within 500 miles, it's not cleaning your engine. It's breaking down under stress, creating harmful deposits that reduce efficiency and accelerate wear. Paying attention to oil condition immediately after a change can save you from catastrophic damage in the long term. The eighth and most insidious warning sign is the silent killer.